Let's analyze together Alibaba 2025-2027 analysis. But first of all, guys, read the disclaimer right here in the video description below. We're gonna talk about fundamentals. We're gonna talk about like technical analysis, the most popular indicators used by probably anyone. So the thing here is like we studied the stock like for a while. We have been analyzing the stock like years ago. And the latest upturn right here that I started back in November 2022 until July 2024. In that sense, it's like it was trading sideways, a lot of volatility in between. And then this breakout. This key breakout is like the start of everything. Yeah, like the possibly like the path to make new highs again. This is important. But the first time it happens is like the hype, the typical hype, and then the breakout. And right here, they started to buy again. This is very similar in comparison to the index performance of the Chinese market. Right here, the second one is the strongest one. And actually, you can clearly see a lot of volume right there. Let's study the fundamentals because I'm going to show you, and it's going to surprise you a little bit because there is like some logic behind it. If you take into consideration what happened back in January 2023, the net income was 6.57. Right now, the last quarter was 6.12. That means, which means that it's very similar performance. And at that time, it was trading at very similar levels. So, that happens when we have like this could be like interpreted like value investing in the sense because the Chinese market is completely undervalued. We all know that the Chinese index is like a minus 50% from last highs. So obviously it's undervalued. And when we have an undervalued market, this is normal. Like valuations tend to be like very, very similar when you compare it with the net income. It's not the same when you compare it with US stocks. When you see like, the net income is always important, it's correlated, but sometimes there is some sort of decorrelation. Like, okay, it's making new highs, but the net income is similar. It doesn't make sense, It's like it can happen in the US market, but in the Chinese market, it's not happening right now because of the undervalued situation, So at this point, the key question here is, will the uptrend continue this incredible parabolic uptrend? Let's study the forecast because the forecast can tell us exactly, not the future per se, but some insights that you have to assess. The interesting part, right here is the EPS. Remember, guys, earnings per share. The most increase here is in the third quarter 2024, 2.67, which is actually the new results that we're gonna have like in let's see, the February 20th, something like that. Yeah, exactly that. So we have an estimate of 2.66 of the EPS. And that's very important, guys, because if we have that exactly reported earnings, we're talking about like the second, probably, of the best, along with the third quarter 2023, the best quarters of Alibaba in the last 2-3 years. That's very important, And after that, and that's the problematic situation, is that the fourth quarter 2024, the estimate is 1.66, and guys, just compare the data. Here they estimate 1.42, the reported 1.40. They are kind of accurate in that sense, and the estimate right here is very, very low. What happened? Let's see what happened in the last quarter 2023 in order to assess what it could happen in this quarter as well. So at that time, you can clearly see, for instance, wow, incredible downtrend actually. And you can clearly see right here the reporting 2.14 and here 2.67. And that's the correlation right here. When we have like a net income dropping and the EPS dropping, the price drops as well, and that's important to assess that this could happen after the earnings right here. That's the only reason why we are facing right now with this stock. But obviously, the Chinese market is booming right now, so you have to assess both situations right here. But the uptrend is very clear, and as long as we don't see a breakout in terms of technical analysis, it's gonna continue to do that. It's like if we have like a reported earnings that is better than the estimate, the uptrend could continue, till 150 probably, and then we have to reassess again according to the forecast because maybe it's a good time to realize some profits at that point because the next quarter is gonna be not horrible, but it's not gonna be that good. But in terms of the future about the company, and this is important, I really like this company in that sense. This is my opinion, of course, because when we take into consideration the EPS forecast, the annual and the revenue, it's very, very good. It's like we're talking about making new highs every time. In 2020, it was the best year of Alibaba, and at that time, the reported earnings was 9.94. So here in 2024, it's not gonna be that good, but the next year is gonna be very similar. 2025 is gonna be very similar, and 2026 is gonna be better. And by 2027, it's gonna be the best. So obviously this projection is important, because we have companies such as Nvidia with the very same projection. Maybe the only thing is like, okay, it can make new highs. Yeah, it can do it, and it could go back to $300 or above. And we're talking about like a huge performance, and that's true. We're talking about the stock could skyrocket up to 200%. It's not gonna be 3,000%. If you wanna search for that performance in Alibaba, you're not gonna find it, at least not in the short term. Maybe in 20 years, anything could happen. But not right now. So in general, this stock is good in terms of fundamentals. We can see right here the performance increasing, and the RSI market in terms of technical analysis, we found very interesting overbought levels. Especially right here in November 2022. That was the best moment to do it, obviously. But here we have another signal right here in July 2024. It was like probably the last opportunity to do it, and then in January 2025. That one, look at that signal, very, very interesting. That was like another signal right here. I'm using the logarithmic scale so you can compare. So obviously when you buy the stock at oversold territories in the MACD and RSI, normally it works best, And if we go to the daily chart, very similar. Look at this signal right here. Probably in the daily signal it works better, the RSI, You just use a simple strategy, Normally what I do is right here, buying at the oversold territory. So if you buy, for instance, around 35, 30 levels of the RSI, it's a good opportunity. And actually look at what happens afterwards. You buy right here, and it completely skyrockets. It's like completely insane, but it happens. You buy right here, look at that, like completely incredible performance in a very short period of time. And the second time it happened, that's the second one. The first time is right here. Still, we experienced a little bit of a downtrend, but look at that. You can clearly see right here. It's also a good level in terms of risk management. Obviously you buy right here is the worst case scenario. So when you buy at the bottom, it always works best. It's like the best buying opportunities. As long as the company is a good one, because obviously if the net income still drops and we see negative numbers, that's a different story. But with Alibaba, and that's the interesting part, we didn't see it. Maybe it was only in September 2022, like minus 3 billion. It was the only time, along with March 2022, like the worst years of Alibaba, and probably the reason the stock underperformed for a long period of time. But right now, the situation is completely different. And right now, we're talking about the best results ever in the last 3 years. And maybe we could make like the best results ever in the coming years. So just keep your analysis, focus on the fundamentals and the net income, EPS forecast, and remember to trade in HT, to follow us on YouTube to watch more videos like this. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.